Ah, je crois qu'il a du souci à se connecter. He's having issues to connect.
Okay, we are already live on Facebook. Are we already live?
Yes.
Yes, we are. Yes, we are.
Wow. Okay, so we need to behave now.
We will wait for a few minutes until we have some audience on Facebook and until President Monsif is able to join us.
Okay.
He's having issues. Okay, so the president is trying to join us. We'll just need to wait for him.
Hello, everybody, and thank you for joining us on Facebook. We will be starting in a few minutes as we are waiting for President Monsef. He is having some technical difficulties. Meanwhile, if you would like to introduce yourself in the chat, from which local and national organization you are from, and if you have any questions to our dear panelists for today, please leave your questions in the comment section, and hopefully we'll be able to get to them today. Thank you for your patience, and we should be starting very soon. Okay, I just got word that we shall start, and President Monsef will join us when he can. Hello, everybody. My name is Mohammed Hijazi. I'm the JCI Vice President assigned to Africa and the Middle East, and I'm very excited to be here with you today for this exciting panel entitled Active Citizenship as a Lifestyle, hosted by two of my assigned organizations, JCI Nigeria and JCI Mauritius. Today, for the first time, we have gathered all 5 current and past JCI World Presidents from Africa and the Middle East under one virtual roof to learn from their journey as active citizens. I would like to welcome everyone joining us now on Facebook Live, and I would like to ask you to share any questions you have to any of our distinguished guests in the comments, and we will try to address them during our session. I would also ask you to share the Facebook feed with your friends and local organizations so we can reach the biggest number of active citizens. I would also like to thank the organizing team from JCI Nigeria and JCI Mauritius for the tremendous effort in organizing this event and for asking me to be the moderator of this historic panel. And now I would like to welcome JCI Nigeria President Onyinyechuku Baledogo for her opening remarks. President Oni, are you ready? Okay, meanwhile, as President Oni is ready, I would like to ask President Franchette Emilien from JCI Mauritius to start with her opening remarks.
Thank you, Vice President Mohammed, President Itai, President Arnaud, President Roland, President Pascal, EVP Asha, National President Oni, all protocols observed. Good morning, good afternoon, or even good evening, depending from where you are. Wow, I can say that I feel so blessed to be part of this event today. It is the first time that many of us, of course, including me, are assisting an event uniting the 5 GCI presidents coming from Africa and the Middle East. I'm very excited today, but preparing the event was also very exciting. Their accessibility, their kindness, their words of wisdom made the experience just awesome. Thank you, presidents, for making this one of a kind of a journey. Peeps, just liaising with these guys, hearing their advice was so inspiring. So you can imagine what will happen throughout this session. The inspiration level will be at its top, I'm sure. When they declared the COVID-19 as a pandemic and we went into lockdown, I thought that the year was spoiled, as we would not be able to execute our plans. Yes, I like planning things, and I'm not very happy when same is disturbed. But I think these past months have taught me to be more open-minded and to adapt to actual situations. Today's event was not in my plans. Actually, we started the discussion only 2 weeks ago, and here we are today with these 5 wonderful gentlemen, greedy to learn from them. From now on, if my plans are to be disturbed to bring such results, may it be disturbed so often. I would like to thank the presidents for responding positively to this event and to give the members and non-members the opportunity to learn from your rich experience. I would also like to thank President Onii, my dear sister, and her very efficient and effective team for this wonderful collaboration. Let me just highlight that this is just the beginning and that you should stay tuned for more. Thank you everyone for being with us, be it on Zoom, on Facebook. I hope you have your fresh drinks around and some nice snacks by your side, because I believe it's gonna be a great movie and we will all be part of it. Thank you so much for your attention.
Thank you very much, President Franchette. As I see JCI Nigeria President is still having technical difficulties, I will move forward to my opening remarks. First, I would like to give a quick overview of what is JCI, as we might have a lot of non-members joining us today. JCI, or Junior Chamber International, is a non-religious, non-political, international, volunteer, membership-based organization present in more than 120 countries, with more than 150 members. Our mission is to provide development opportunities that empower young people to create positive change. If you are not a member and would like to learn more about our organization, please reach out to the JCI organization in your country or city, and you can visit jci.cc for more information. Today's topic is active citizenship as a lifestyle. Active citizenship means people getting involved in their local communities and democracy at all levels, from towns to cities to nationwide to even worldwide activity. Active citizenship can be as small as a campaign to clean up your street, or as big as educating young people about democratic values, skills, and participation. Active citizenship is taking matters into your own hands to improve the issues our society is facing, and not waiting for others to bring the change that we want. Inaction is not an option. We must take action and responsibility if we want to have meaningful impact on our future and the world. Today, we have the pleasure to host 5 active citizens from Tunisia, Mauritius, Cameroon, Nigeria, and Zimbabwe, who have showcased their active citizenship on a global level and served our organization at the highest level. In line with our mission to provide development opportunities, JCI Nigeria and JCI Mauritius has selected some of their outstanding members to introduce each president. After the introduction, each president will have 3 minutes for their opening remarks, where they will tell us about their journey from the day they joined JCI until they became world president. What are the moments that stood out to them the most? And how was your experience as world president? Seeing as President Monsif is still having technical difficulties, I would like to ask Sanmi Abidun from JCI Ibadan Elite, JCI Nigeria, to introduce President Arnaud Goudere.
Thank you very much for the privilege to make this introduction. I'll proceed immediately to take the citation for JCI President Arnaud Goudere. Arnaud Goudere, OSK, was the JCI president in 1994. He holds the National Award of the Officer of the Star and Key of the Indian, presented to him by the President of Mauritius in 1994. Aside serving as JCI president, Arnaud Goudere also sat on the JCI board in 1990, 1992, and 1995. He's also a qualified JCI trainer. He started his professional career with the Mauritius Oil Refineries in 1970, before working with the Embassy of the Republic of Korea and working in several capacities with Shell International over the space of 22 years, 1987 to 2009. He's currently the company director for AG Consulting, having recently served as company director for Laclinaba LTE from 2015 to 2019. He's an affiliate member of the Mauritius Institute of Directors, MIOD, with many years of experience on the board of several establishments, including the Export Processing Zones Development Authority, Mauritius Post and Cooperative Bank Limited, Global Migration Solutions, Mauritius Consultancy and Management Services Limited, and Mauritius Post Limited. He's fluent in English and French, and he enjoys playing golf, water sports, trekking, reading, seeing movies, and gardening. Fellow JCs, ladies and gentlemen, I present to you, and please welcome with me, Arnaud Goudere, OSK JCI Senator. It's a pleasure having you.
Thank you very much for this introduction. Vice President Mohammed, all my good friends, past president, and above all, the 2020 JCI President Itai, EVP, Asha, all distinguished guests, fellow JCs listening, national presidents here who have wonderfully organized this session, this Zoom session. It's really a great privilege to be here. And if there was not this pandemic, we would not have gathered here wholeheartedly together and share some good moments. I'm sure we would have waited for an events, conference, or World Congress to meet, but this has taught us a very good lesson that we can meet virtually. And for me, from this introduction that you made, yes, I had the chance of becoming the 49th JCI World President in a year where we celebrated the 50th anniversary of JCI, 1944 to 1994. So 50 years, there was a motto that is still popular, go for gold, which was the motto of the year, and strive for excellence. And I was called the cutting cake president because in some over 70 countries that I travel, every time JCs, national presidents, the board and everybody organize a banquet and we cut a 50th anniversary cake. But that year was very special because since it was the 50th anniversary, it invited us to go back to the roots of the organization, to understand why we are here, why we are JC's active citizens, what our founders, their legacies they have given to us. So I think in life, it's very important for any human being, organization, to know where we come from and take lessons about all that. That was the first thing that JCs did that year, back to basics. Secondly, we had 4 areas of opportunities, as you know. community, individual development, management, international, we introduced a fifth one, which was business. So that year we had 5 area conferences, and it was a business conference in Bali called the Bali Business Conference, where was launched the International Business Associate, IBA, that connected worldwide all business people, because most of the JCs, they are entrepreneurs, they run business, they are professional, etc. So there is a connectivity among us in terms of being professional and entrepreneur. So we have this business network where you had a sort of code which help you to identify and to share and to therefore distribute in as an IBN with a number on it. The third one was environment. So that year was Mutanai. Mutanai was a Japanese concept, was the buzzword of JCI in that year. And it's an endorsed program by Japan JCs. So basically, it helped to save the multitude of natural resources that there are in the world. So JCs around the world conducted programs that was, of course, rewarded, recognized, etc., which portrays how they are saving energy, they are preserving the natural resources, and that was quite popular. So as also a JCI president, I had the opportunities of traveling around the world as my other colleagues here, and meeting head of states, government. So in Africa, I remember meeting Mr. Henri Konan Bédié, the president of Ivory Coast, Blaise Compaoré, a very high-profile political figure since now today. One who fascinated me was Archbishop Tutu, Desmond Tutu. And I think this something was very special, meeting such a distinguished guy like him. And the year culminated, of course, to conclude by the JCI World Congress, where we celebrated the 50th anniversary in Kobe, attended by, I remember, 15,000 delegates coming from over 100 countries, and was officially opened by the Crown Prince of Japan. So last thing is to come back to the topic of this today. I think it's a very sexy topic, because we are talking about active citizen as a lifestyle. I like this lifestyle. And if you look at any JCs, you can see there's a sort of lifestyle. I'm not going into details about, we all know. And what we call a way that we live. But I believe some are role models. We can see that some in their life, others, we need more and more role models in their life. But I think this question of active citizen, and which has been described by the introducer, is we need to know the lifestyle we choose, and not the lifestyle that chooses us. There's a difference. And we, JCs, the decision that we need to take is to decide what is the lifestyle that we choose, and don't let others impose on us the lifestyle, because we tend to sort of complain about government not doing this, not doing that. But being an active citizen is to start probably from our home, from our office, and our communities, etc., how we want tomorrow to be. And we need sort of to get out of our couch, empower our JCs all worldwide, and make changes we want to see in the world. And in our area, Africa, which is a booming area, a promising area, different from others, there we can, from our own little, let's say, community, chapter, organization, make the difference. There is this famous app locally and have the result globally. We need to start to do that. And then we will change the world gradually. And I think this is a question of mindset and in our mind. So if we stand as an active citizen, willing to change the world, willing to have positive change, so this is the sort of attitude that we need to bring. And with the right attitude will come the altitude that we want to reach. So this is what I believe would be this chair, Mohamed.
Thank you very much, President Godieri, for your opening remarks. And at this point, I would like to recognize the presence of JCI Secretary General Kevin Hin, who is with us today, and as well the presence of the JCI Africa and the Middle East Executive Vice President Asha Oklu as well. If there are any other officers who are present on the Facebook feed, please make yourself visible so that we can recognize you. As I see President of JCI Nigeria, Onyenyeyi, is here, please, I would like to welcome you to do your opening remarks.
All right, thank you so much, VP Mo. Good afternoon, everyone. I am so excited to welcome you all to this forum on active citizenship as a lifestyle. This is the second series in the twining collaboration between JCI Nigeria and JCI Mauritius, aimed at promoting entrepreneurship and active citizenship. Now, the COVID-19 pandemic came as a surprise to us, but we are adapting to the new normal. And beyond taking the necessary precautionary measures, this has been a time of reflection and coming up with innovative ways to continue making sustainable impact as an organization and in our individual lives. It has been a time for personal development. Importantly, it has shown that active citizenship is needed now more than ever. Now, this is a time for young persons to take responsibility with respect to the things happening around them and to take innovative steps of providing needed lasting solutions. It's a time to lead from wherever you are, with or without the benefit of a title. Now, the theme for JCI Nigeria for 2020 is Impact Through Diversity. And this is born out of the need to have everyone work together towards creating sustainable impact, irrespective of our educational backgrounds, our political affiliations, gender, talents, ethnicity, religion, and every other thing that ordinarily showcases our differences, embracing our rich diversity as our strength. Now, active citizenship is more than a concept. It is a movement, it is a lifestyle. It is about seeing a need and taking the lead. It is about having a mindset change and recognizing that everything happening around us ultimately affects us one way or the other, and so concerns us. Now, the pandemic is a very good example of this. Now, as such, we all have a role to play, and adopting active citizenship as a lifestyle made up of our past JCI presidents and the 2020 JCI presidents who have had the experience of leading an organization of young active citizens in more than 100 countries around the world. And they would be sharing this experience with us. So once more, welcome to this life-changing and inspiring forum. And please take the time to learn, unlearn, and relearn from these great minds. Thank you.
Thank you very much, President Oni. I would also like to welcome now President Monsef Baruni, and I would like to call upon Diksha Bihari from JCI Bubais and Rosehill, JCI Mauritius, to introduce President Monsef.
Yes, thank you. All protocol observed, greetings everyone. So thank you for this privilege. He owns a master's degree in law from the Faculty of Law and Economic Sciences of Tunis with 44 years of professional experience and is affiliated to several professional associations. He is an active member of the Junior Chamber International Tunisia and was national president in 1980 before becoming JCI president in 1986. He is also the founding president of the Tunisian American Chamber of Commerce from 1986 to 2007, resident of the Association of Tunisian American Friendship from 1989 to 2013, and member of the Arbitration and Conciliation Center of Tunis. With a rich professional career, he is a lawyer at the Tunis bar since 1971 to date, one of the best I heard. He speaks fluently Arabic, English, and French, and has been serving this organization that is so dear to him for years now. This brilliant gentleman is no other than our 1986 JCI president, Mohamed Monsef Barouni, all the way from Tunisia. Welcome. Thank you.
President Monsef, your microphone is muted.
Good afternoon for everybody. Greetings from Tunisia. I'm glad to announce that Tunisia now is overcoming the COVID situation and problems. We are now the safest, among the safest countries in the world. As far as my link with the JCI organization, it goes back to a long time. I'm glad to meet with old friends whom I consider as, you know, young people comparing to me. Arnaud, I was listening to Arnaud speaking, and I remember when I was JCI president, I went to Mauritius. I attended the foundation of the JCI Mauritius. And Arnaud was then, I think among the young members of this fine organization in Mauritius. Marde, who was the founding president of Mauritius JCI, I think this reminds me very important and nice and lovely moments of my career with the JCI organization. So I joined this organization in 1977. I think if not all of you, but most of you were not there. And from the beginning, I found out that I am in an organization where I can find a good chance to grow, which I didn't find in other organizations. This is a reality. And I started dreaming to be JCI president from the first day of my joining this organization at the local level. We used to say LOM, local organization member or organization. So since 1977, that was my dream. And I wanted to become a JCI president. And that was not like, something impossible. No, this organization is showing to every ground member that it is an organization of opportunities. You join this organization, and the first day you join this organization, doors and windows are opened before you. The only thing is you want or you don't want. And if you compare the JCI organization with others, you will not find the notion of opportunity. We used to call the areas of opportunity in our organization when it comes to describe its program and its activities, areas of opportunities. This is what JCI is all about. So the only thing is you have a dream, you believe in a dream, you get an ideal, and once you have the ideal, you start planning. And if you plan, you go through action. And if you go through action, you get result. And if you reach the result, you are happy. So this is a very natural link between dream and happiness. You don't dream, you will never be happy. So JCI is really the framework which gave me this lesson and gave me the opportunity to work according to the training that our organization is providing all its members. And hopefully in Africa, we were like, made beside the race towards the highest situation and highest responsibility in this worldwide organization. And that was, not fair. We had the opportunity to reach, vice president or executive vice president, but I never, before I joined this organization, heard about an African who can become an international president. And this was not, I'm not blaming the others, I'm blaming myself and ourselves. When I first announced that I would like to be one day the international president of this organization, which I love, one of the Morocco's senators, JCI senators, and he was minister then with King Hassan II. And I talked to him and told him why Morocco or Tunisia will not, claim their right and have this honor to lead this international organization. And this minister said to me, Monsef, you are dreaming. We cannot. I said to myself, this is very good incentive, and I have to build upon his remarks to show him that his remarks are wrong. And hopefully in Africa, this idea was very well accepted, very well supported. And one day when we were about to reach this situation and this position within JCI organization, I had a talk with a great friend of mine, past JCI President Gary Nagao from Japan. And I told him, Gary, I'm very close to JCI presidency. He said, Monsef, this is your right. It is really obvious that any individual member of this organization can reach this position. But Monsef, you have 4 handicaps, for bad, things that will maybe prevent you from reaching such a position. I said, Gary, what are they? He said, Monsef, you are Arab. Monsef, you are Muslim. Monsef, you are African. Monsef, you are from the third world country. These 4, qualifications. I'm Arab, I am Muslim, I am African, and I am from the third world country, but these qualifications should not be the criteria for aiming and having the honor to hold the JCI presidency worldwide. But that was really the climate, the impressions, the custom, you may say whatever, but these were, the impressions that were made before us, African. We want to reach our objective, we want to enjoy our rights, but there was, like elsewhere in other organizations in the world, this kind of position which is like discrimination. This is real discrimination without any justification. And hopefully that was, again, like the remarks from the Minister of Morocco, the remarks from Garinagao, were to me again, and to my friends, to my team, to my good friends in Africa, an incentive to go forward and to, to challenge. This is a good challenge. And we believe that in JCI, we have the right to reach, such position and to enjoy our rights as members of an international organization, according to the, JCI Creed. And finally, we got support. Everybody was convinced that, first of all, we have the right to become JCI president from Africa or Arab or Muslim country. Then we have the qualifications to enjoy and to have such position. And I may say, without any pretensions, that we have more qualifications than people from and young people from other organizations. And finally, the wisdom has led most of the national organizations to accept and to support and to vote for the first time a president of JCI from Africa. And I'm glad that that was the first step, but I'm glad also that I'm now in presence of my good friends who are, very courageous, very talented, and they have decided to run for such position because it's our right, it's our aim, and it's our challenge. So this is my experience in this organization. I'm glad, as I said, that you get us together. Thank you very much for organizing this meeting. And I say hello to everybody. And I may say a special hello to my past JCI presidents from Africa.
Thank you very much, President Monsef, for being with us today. And we are very proud to have had you the first president from Africa, where you opened the door to the fellow presidents with us today. At this point, I have received word that President Scott Greenlee from JCI USA sends you his regards to the presidents on this panel. And what I would also like to recognize all the senators and the national presidents who are watching us live on the Facebook feed. Thank you very much for joining us. At this point, I would like to ask the presidents to please limit their opening speech to 3 minutes so that we will have time to take questions, as we do have several questions lined up. I would like to ask upon Olamipo Adewola from JCI Victoria Island, JCI Nigeria, to please present President Ronald Koeman.
It is with great honor that I profile the leader who trains future leaders, Roland Koeman. He is the 2010 JCI president, a man of great values and passion for Africa. Born on the 4th of April 1971 in Yaoundé, Cameroon, Roland Koeman holds a master's degree in international management from IAE Poitiers, France, and a diploma in corporate social responsibility from the World Bank Institute. He is the chairman of Go Ahead Africa Limited, a training and coaching firm whose objective is to contribute to the development of Africa by strengthening the capacities of its development actors. As part of its CSR policy, Go Ahead Africa Limited, in partnership with PLF, organizes and facilitates leadership and entrepreneurship academies in many African countries. Program focused on training, empowerment, and providing opportunities to young leaders and entrepreneurs. He's an impactful leader who inspires, an excellent speaker, a trainer, and a coach who has the keys and the right words to awaken the power of transformational leadership that lies dormant in every individual, especially amongst young people. He facilitates coaching topics in various TV channels and social networks. He authors an autobiographical book titled The Impact of One, and is the founder of Impact Talk Concept, a training/talk designed for top and middle management desiring to boost their performances via soft skills. Roland Koeman has traveled to more than 90 countries. He speaks both English and French fluently. He lives in the beautiful city of Boae in Cameroon with his wife Marjolaine and his 3 children, Patrice Williams, Diane, and Enzobi. Ladies and gentlemen, it is with great pleasure that I once again welcome the leader who trains future leaders, Roland Koeman. Thank you.
Okay. Okay, good. Can I go on, Mohamed?
Yes, President Ronald, we're waiting for you.
Okay, thanks so much. I want to thank Adewola for this inspiring introduction. Let me seize the opportunity again to really acknowledge and thank our pioneer and father, Monsef. The last time I think we met was in Osaka, Japan. And I want to thank you. It's really unfortunate that we have not been meeting physically. Thanks to JCI Nigeria and JCI Mauritius, we can meet on this platform. And I really hope that as soon as the travel and the borders are open, we will quick reconnect. So I want to protocol respected, go straight to the point. So after the presentation of President Baudet and President Monsef, that was quite inspiring. I've prepared some slides for you guys. I will take really few minutes, 3 minutes, which is more, okay, good. Active citizenship as a lifestyle. So what we did, the first inspiration is from Kofi Annan that you all know, a strong advocate of our organization and a past member. No one is born a good citizen. He says that, and which is true. Even the nations are not like, but rather it is important for us to continue to involve all these stakeholders. And he says young people must be included from birth. And a society that is cut off from youth is totally going to have challenges in terms of, so if you look very well, this is the foundation of our organization. You know, citizenship is a strong foundation. Now, we all know, especially the current member, from 2010, we spoke a lot about the active citizenship framework. I don't want to talk about it. I want to talk to you about the golden cycles of the active citizenship concept. The one is what, the second why, and the last is how. Now, talking about the what, it is clearly to just say active citizenship usually refers to the involvement and the participation of, especially our target population, young people, in community involvement, in nation building. So it calls to human rights, freedom, but most importantly, democracy. When we listen to President Mossevi, he said it, that before him, it was quite difficult to think that an African would become a world president. Whereas the fact that it was not about competency. No, it was more about some cliche. So it is important to say it is one of the most important steps towards a healthy society, especially for the new democracies, so the African and Middle East. So we see that this concept can really help to build and to make that we have sustainable societies. Now, the why is simple. If they ask you, why are you a JCI member? I mean, what I like, it boils down to become true change agents. Where that is the final goal of our organization, to build these young people, all the development opportunities that the organization offers to young people is to help them at the end to be true change agents. So, and now that is the why of our organization. That is the why of active citizenship. Now, how do we do it? And I want to conclude on this. These are 4 important steps. Number 1, we should take decision in keeping in mind the long-term consequences of our present action. This organization is more than 100 years old. The founders started and had a vision with friends. It has gone through years. From the data, so I think when I was JCI president, we are talking about more than 11 million young people that have passed through this organization. And it is important to know that what you are doing today is not for you only, but it's for future generations. Number 2, we should understand how several factors interconnect and correlate in order to have a bigger picture. What today you call partnership and collaboration. We have identified 3 main players in modern society: government, corporate world, and the civil society. But if we want to succeed, so active citizenship is the collaboration, is the link between these 3 main actors. Number 3, we need to share personal commitment for tasks and deliverable and inspire others to take responsibility. And President Arnaud also said that. President Monsef said it, and I'm sure Pascal will say it. This organization is not just about empower young people, but empower them to take responsibility. We should stop complaining, we should stop blaming, or stop accusing. And last but not the least, number 4, we need to look for and implement innovative solutions to address current and future issues, which is great. COVID-19 is a clear indication that we need to reinvent ourselves. And active citizenship as a lifestyle is a mindset that helps us to reinvent ourselves. So again, thanks so much. As I always say in my signature, we have a whole continent to build. Thank you so much. And that is my opening remarks.
Thank you very much, President Rolon, for your very interesting presentation. To remind our viewers on Facebook to leave in their questions in the comments if they have any questions to any of our presidents, and to share the feed so that we can reach the biggest amount of active citizens. Now I would like to call upon Krishanta Shavirmutu from JCI City plus JCI Mauritius to please introduce President Pascal Dike. Krishanta, are you with us?
Yes, thank you, Mr. Vice President. Greetings, everyone. It is an absolute honor to introduce the 2016 JCI President, Pascal Dike from Nigeria. His motto was Just Act, and this is exactly what he has been doing during his JCI career, which spans over 20 years. He has used his talents as trainer and speaker by traveling to 80 countries, impacting participants from over 110 nations. He has served the organization in different capacities, such as National President, Vice President, JCI General Legal Counsel, and course leader for the JCI Academy. He is currently the CEO of 2 companies involved in consulting, communication, entrepreneurship, and leadership. He is a member of the Nigerian Institute of Training and Development and an affiliate of the International Federation of Training and Development Organizations. In addition to all of his actions, his legacy in JCI perdures as the initiator of the Peace is Possible campaign. Today, the campaign is carried out in over 70 countries, which is not just a feat, but a necessity. Thank you for your presence, Mr. President.
Well, thank you very much for the wonderful introduction. First, let me recognize and very sincerely appreciate President Franchel and President Onyinye for this initiative, and of course, all your teams. Well, let me thank President Monsef, President Arnold, President Roland, and I want to say that I hope this is not a setup, because myself and Itai are still very fresh from our JCI experience. I mean, Itai is still in it, but having the opportunity to share, I'll call it the virtual stage, with these 3 wonderful leaders out of our area is a great honor that I don't take for granted. Now, given that, I want to say I hope we're all staying very safe and doing whatever is necessary to stay away from COVID-19. I tell people that COVID-19, yes, is a big challenge, but it also provides a wonderful opportunity. One of those opportunities is what we're seeing today. This opportunity we're having to interact. You know, some of us have not been very used to this virtual kind of events and activities, but we are struggling to learn it and we don't have a choice. But after now, believe me, it's going to be a new normal, because a lot of people make money, make contacts, create networks out of this. So with that said, we are talking today about active citizenship as a lifestyle. I would like to individualize it by asking, who is an active citizen? And I ask you like a question. Do you care enough to want to make a change in your community? Do you care enough to change the lives of people around you? Do you care enough to roll your sleeves, get dirty, and do what we consider extraordinary, done by an ordinary person? That is the question. If your answer to this is yes, then you are on that journey of active citizenship. I'll share a little story with you. When I was a little boy in the village, my village, maybe about 8 years old, there were a few persons who had vehicles, okay? And when it rains, you have pools of waters all over. So when people's vehicles get stuck in the pool of water, those of us, the young people, just stand by, not wanting to lend a hand until we are beckoned to come and then we are offered money. So we will never want to do anything until we are offered something as a reward or an incentive or an enticement to want to do that. That was my understanding of what you have to do as a young person. But when I joined JCI in 1997 and got involved deeply, I came to understand that we live for others and not for ourselves. So when you become an active citizen, there are 2 very important words that must be prominent in everything you do. I call them responsibility and influence. So you do not wait to be asked to do something. So JCI made me understand and woke my consciousness to the fact that an active citizen is someone who understands that there are challenges around him or her, that there's something to be done in the community. He does not only think about it, but he galvanizes effort, he takes action. So thinking is not enough. Feeling is not enough. You must act. It is only when you have taken action and produced results that you can say you're an active citizen. And therefore, the question is, how can we make this a lifestyle? I want to say to you that my involvement in JCI changed my orientation totally, to understand that we live for others first before ourselves. And that is how an active citizen thinks. That's how an active citizen should behave. And therefore, when you are an active citizen, you don't do things for yourself. You do it for others. And when you do it for others and the results are good, then definitely you will benefit from it. For example, if you do something to better your community, you are a member of that community, right? So if the community gets better, you get better. If it gets worse or bad, you get worse or bad. So most importantly, we must take away from this is an active citizen is that someone who does not sit down and watch. In fact, I say to people everywhere that you lose your right to complain the moment you cannot identify what you have contributed. I repeat that. You lose your right to complain, whether about your government, about businesses, about roads, about electricity, about corruption. You lose your right to complain about anything if you cannot point a finger to what your contribution has been. And that's why an anonymous author said something. He said, no man No woman has any right to come into this world, live through it, enjoy the beauty, and then exit without justifying the reason to have come in the first place. So an active citizen should awaken us to that fact that if we live whether 20 years or 30 years or 50 or even 100 or more and die, and people cannot point our legacies, the things we did to impact others, to impact our communities, it was better we were never born. So the question is, it doesn't matter how old you are, can you take a look back to do what I call self-reflection and ask yourself, what has been your contribution to your family? What has been your contribution to your community? What has been your contribution to your country? And what has been your contribution to the global community? If you cannot place a finger on anything, then I'm going to ask you to please re-examine your life. Then you are not an active citizen. So an active citizen is someone who understands that there are challenges and he thinks about them. And that's why I say to people that we must stop thinking too much, because we think a lot, and we must stop talking too much. We must begin to feel, and that feeling should bring it to the point of wanting to act. That brings me to one word that I have used for the last 6-7 years. I call it benevolence. Benevolence to most people, I'm sure to some of us here, means compassion, empathy, sympathy. But an author from Japan, Inezo Nitobe, defines it as the feeling of distress. So an active citizen is someone who feels distressed, pained, uncomfortable with situations around when things are not going right. And that feeling is what engineers this active citizen to want to take action. Something as simple as you're walking on the road, a very clean place, and people are dropping trashes on the road. The question to ask yourself, should you just walk past and say, look, it's not my business? An active citizen should do something. Either you call the consciousness of that person to what he or she is doing that is wrong, or you take the step to clean up the place. And therefore, I say an active citizen is a clear distinction between what I call the civilian and the citizen. The civilian is someone who could be comfortable, have the beautiful cars, wonderful houses, great education, have good titles and positions, but he does not do anything to affect positively his community. He does nothing to affect people around him. But an active citizen is someone who may not have the deep pocket, who may not have all the education, who may not have all the money, but every day he or she thinks about what more can I do to make the lives of people around me better? What more can I do to bring about change? What more can I do to bring about impact? And that is what active citizenship represents. It represents someone who does not make too many excuses and indulge in excuses, but takes action to want to bring about the change. And that's why J.F. Kennedy says, my final word, that the problems of humanity cannot possibly be solved by cynics and skeptics whose horizons are blocked by obvious realities. There are challenges in the world, but we cannot continue to talk about those challenges alone. He went on to say that we need men and women who can dream of things that never were and ask why not. And if you are an active citizen, your question should change from that of why to why not? Why not me? Why not us? Okay, so let's take away that attitude of it is their problem and assume and appropriate that mindset of it is our problem. And when you come to that consciousness and you understand what benevolence is, you're distressed enough, you do something about it. And that's the only way we can create the change that we need in our lives, in the lives of people, and in the world. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you very much, President Pascal, for your inspirational introduction, as always. At this point, I'd like to recognize Area Director Tunji Oyeyemi from Nigeria, who has joined us. And I would like to ask Mariam Bamari from JCI Nigeria, Nasarawa State University, Kafia of JCI Nigeria, to kindly present our 2020 President, Itai Maniere.
Okay, good day, everyone. I'm here to present on our 2020 President, Itai Maniere. JCI President Itai Maniere was elected and inaugurated as the 2020 JCI President during the 2019 World Congress in Tallinn, Estonia, and currently serving as the 75th JCI President. Born 37 years ago in Gweri, Zimbabwe, JCI President Maniere is the founding director of Blue Dot Technologies, an organization that delivers value to mobile network operators in South Africa, Asia, and Europe. He joined JCI Harare, Zimbabwe in 2004. He served on the local board and as Harare local president in 2006. From From 2008, he served on the JCI Zimbabwe National Board in various capacities, eventually becoming the 2014 JCI Zimbabwe National President. At international level, JCI President Manieri served as 2015 JCI Vice President for Africa and Middle East, and was later appointed to the 2016 JCI Skill Development Committee, 2017 JCI Growth and Development Committee, Africa and Middle East, and elected the 2018 JCI Executive Vice President for Africa and Middle East. JCI President Manieri served as the Chief Executive Assistant to the 2019 JCI President. As JCI President Manieri leads in 2020, his theme is Bridge the Gap. He firmly believes as young people, we are responsible to share the future we want, and it's up to us to take advantage of the opportunities presented. We must turn around and fortune of present-day society to deliver a tomorrow fit for future generations to enjoy. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you our President, JCI President Itai Manieri. Thank you.
Thank you very much, and thank you very much, Mariam, for that introduction. Along the way, I got lost. I did not realize you were actually introducing me. But thank you very much for this. Thank you very much to JCI Nigeria and JCI Mauritius for bridging the gap, the geographical gap that we've always had in this organization by organizing this exciting series and also inviting me to come and sit on this panel that is an amazing panel that shows you sons of the continent that have risen to the highest level of this magnificent organization and served with distinction over the years. I see 1986 President Monsef. 1986, I was only 4 years old, and I'm very honored to have you here today, sir. And most importantly, to appreciate you for breaking that glass ceiling. That is the first thing, breaking that glass ceiling and showing that it is possible for young people from the mother continent to serve at the apex of the organization. And I'll take it as one that shows us that whatever you believe, whatever you dream of, whatever you conceive and you actively pursue, it will come to pass. And you made it possible, and you showed that that is possible. Also to acknowledge 1994 President Arnold from Mauritius. Thank you very much, sir, for being on this panel. My older brother and mentor over the years, 2010 JCI President Roland Quemain from Cameroon, who keeps working every day to turn young people into leaders on the continent and beyond. And my big brother and mentor, who's held my hand over time, 2016 JCI President Pascal Dike. And what a topic for us today on active citizenship, where we say active citizenship needs to be a part of your lifestyle. It has to be a part of you. The way you walk, the way you talk, the way you carry yourself, the way you run your business, the way everything around you happens. You have to look the part and say you are an active citizen. Do you pay your taxes? Are you one who is a responsible citizen wherever you are? And that is what we're talking about. Are you one who shuns corruption and practices it? Are you one who moves and shakes in industry and commerce wherever they are? Are you one who actively contributes to the future of your local community, to the future of your country, as it were? And that is where active citizens come into play. It need not be a JCI thing when we look at active citizenship, but it has to be something that's a part of you. An organization that offers us opportunities to lead at any level and every level. Profiles that have been read here today show you how young people, when given an opportunity to serve at local level, to serve in projects, to serve at national level, to serve at international level, they do it, they give their all, and they excel to the best of their abilities. Therein lies the opportunity that we have in this organization, an organization that is over 100 years old, And every year we keep providing those development opportunities that empower us as young people to be the movers and shakers of industry and commerce, to be the movers and shakers in communities, to lead in civic government, to lead in national government, to even lead in chambers of commerce wherever we are. And in this platform, this is where we find such young people who are able to do all those things. And JCI provides that opportunity for us to be active citizens wherever we are. When you look at my profile, I served at every level of the organization. I always took it and say to myself, Itai, any opportunity to serve, do it to the best of your ability. Yes, you might have aspirations because everyone would really love an opportunity to serve at the highest level possible when given the opportunity. But at any given point in time, focus on the task at hand. If you are a local president, serve to the best of your ability. If you are a project chair, serve to the best of your ability and with distinction, and the rest will come post that. And I would like to call upon anyone and everyone who's connected today to say, at any level, serve with dignity, serve with honor, with a title or without a title. And in anything and everything that you do in this organization, let it be something that whenever you are serving, you're asking yourself, as you walk the face of this earth, what legacy are you leaving for your children? I believe in this world, we enjoy a lot of things. On the continent, we enjoy a lot of freedom because we've got young people that gave up their comfort zones and they went to war for them to get us an independence. We have people that have planted trees, the infrastructure that we enjoy. It's because of sacrifices of people that have gone before us. But the $1 million question that needs to keep ringing in our head is to say, what is it that we're doing today? What seeds are we planting today so that our children can be able to enjoy the fruits of our hands? I encourage everyone, wherever you are, to keep taking action and make things happen. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, President Itai, for your opening speech. And I will quickly move into the question and answer part because we only have around 50 minutes left and there are a lot of questions. My first question would be to all my presidents who are present with us today. How has JCI and being an active citizen, how did JCI and being an active citizen improve your personal or professional life outside of JCI? And please try to limit your response to 1 minute so we can take as many questions as possible. And I would like to start with President Monsef. If you please can mute yourself because we cannot hear you. Unmute yourself.
Hello.
Hello, yes, we can hear you now.
Okay, I think JCI organization is all about this question, it answers the question. Once we decide to join this organization, we are already prepared for being active leader in the changing that we are looking for. If we don't make a difference, then we don't really mean anything. So difference for yourself and for the others. When you join the organization and after 1 year, 2 years, etc., you are changing yourself in the better way. Same thing for your environment, human environment and natural environment and social environment. This is my answer to the question.
Thank you very much. President Arnaud, would you like to weigh in on how has JCI benefited you on a professional and personal level outside of the organization?
Well, wherever I have been, in my office, at home, everywhere, you can see a picture of our creed. When I wake up, I look at it. It's like a prayer. And when we've been all president here, we recite it maybe 4, 5, 7 times in a day in different languages. And for me, the creed today, in this pandemic, COVID, post-COVID, new normal, whatever you call it, has a very utmost importance. In fact, it is being threatened. And we active citizens, if we sit down and we don't do anything about the creed that we believe, then it's useless. Why? Faith in God. You've seen how people have been close to God these past weeks, months. Brotherhood of men. We don't have anymore. We are in nationalism, you know, you can see in US, elsewhere, Brazil or wherever, UK. People, nations are not opening, but are closing themselves. Economic justice. Government are taking this opportunity to put laws that oppress people more, that harm human personality, which is in our creed. Government should be of laws rather than of men. Are they not taking advantage of putting laws that threaten all the human personality, the human aspect of life? You can see also about the notion of service to humanity, how important it is today. It's at the center. Everybody is talking about solidarity, about helping the neighbor, about helping other communities. And for me, in my life, since I've been a JC and up to now, the creed is at the center of everything. And I hope that JCs, they don't recite it as a parrot, but they live the creed as active citizens.
Thank you very much, President Arnaud. And now I refer the same question to President Roland.
Thank you very much, VP Mohamed. I think I would say 3 main benefits for me. The first one is the capacity building, the level of self-confidence and the training. So I'm so grateful to JCI. I mean, building my capacity. Number 2 is the element of the network worldwide. I mean, it has been a huge benefit for me. And number 3 is it has helped me to really give a meaning and purpose to my own life in terms of social responsibility. Now, for those who are following my activity on social media, they will see it. More than 60% of my business, I mean, being busy on social media is not paid, it's not for profit. I mean, if you look at my activity, the roadmap, last year I reached personally, I trained more than 10,000 people in presence, not on social media, we can't count. But my staff were laughing. Out of these 10,000, just 2,000 or 3,000 are paid. 7,000 are totally free. So for me, those are what JCI has brought to me. More in terms of social responsibility and individual social responsibility. And I'm so grateful. And it is a clear indication that there is always a pleasure to give than to receive. But in giving, you always receive.
Thank you very much. And now I would like to refer to President Pascal.
Thank you very much. First, I want to say that in 1999, 2 years after I joined JCI as a student, JCI woke my consciousness to the fact that I do not live for myself, but I must live for others. And in the town where I come from, there was a 13-year-old controversy that has torn the town apart. So I mobilized 32 university students to work hands in hand with some very important people in my hometown to solve a 13-year problem. It was so difficult, but that was a contribution. And I have continued to do similar things since then till this moment. But professionally, I want to say that when I joined JCI on January 11, 1997, 1 month after, I was invited to a birthday party and I was asked to be MC. And I said, no, I couldn't do it. And I was pushed, and said, look, you must be the MC. I struggled with it. But from February 1997, when I could not speak, to 6 months later, I started making money from being MC. That is a part of JCI. But what I have gone to do since then is that I have been able to transfer, just like President Roland said, these experiences and this knowledge in building young people both within and outside JCI. And the network that JCI has helped us create today, even in our business, is something that we cannot quantify, we cannot buy with money. And therefore, the businesses that I run, yes, these businesses also tend to make profit, but we also look at how we can contribute to our community, because we've been told consistently that we must be in line with the global compact of the United Nations, which JCI has subscribed to for many years. And therefore, what that has helped me do is to understand how to run ethical businesses, to run businesses that do not only benefit you, benefit all the people, benefit community, and where you can bring in young people who paid nothing to prepare them for their future endeavors. And this is one thing that I'm very passionate about. And even though that every year now I go to Japan to conduct the JCI Academy, I do that with every sense of passion, every sense of commitment and happiness, because each time you give, you receive. And each time you create one great life, something great happens in the community. And therefore, we need to continue to turn out great leaders. And having the opportunity to have served JCI, the 5 of us here, and Itai is still serving, what it means is we have been given a great opportunity and we have no reason not to give back to the community. And that we must continue to do. Thank you.
Thank you very much, President Pascal. And President Itai, would you like to elaborate on this question?
Okay, thank you very much, VP Mo, for that question. The biggest takeaway for me in JCI has been self-discovery. JCI unpacks the diamond in you. JCI unpacks something inside of you that you never imagined. And many a time you come across mentors that you never had. You get opportunities that you never had. You get into this large network and you just have, call them free consultants as you'd like to, if you want to call them that. And as you walk through that journey at any level, as you serve in the organization, you've got people that you work with on that journey in service. And the person you become is one that probably you would never have imagined. That's the biggest takeaway from me from this organization. And I'll keep serving in this organization as long as I've got, as long as my heart keeps beating, because I believe we can still continue to mentor more young people to rise up and serve in this organization and serve their communities wherever they are.
Thank you very much, President Itai. And now I come to something that President Arnaud touched upon, which is what is currently happening in the world. What is your view on what JCI's role should be in combating the coronavirus pandemic during months? JCI's role, please. And
I'm not listening to you.
Please go ahead.
No, sound came back to me now.
Unmute your mic.
I didn't hear the question. Excuse me.
Okay, so the question is, what is JCI's role in combating the coronavirus pandemic?
Well, as I am not, active and within, the JCI organization now, but I join their meetings, I join their, general assemblies, and sometimes I'm invited to their local actions, activities. And I can confirm that in our country, Tunisia, all JCI members in all the country, they have been very active and serving to the most the fight against this healthy problem. They have been volunteers, they have been helping the government, they have been helping families, I am really proud of them. And I was a little bit ashamed not to be a part of their groups and teams working on the field. So really, I'm proud of them. They have done a very good job. And I think this is maybe a bad occasion, but a good project, good action, which came to them. And they have demonstrated that as JCI members, they are partners.
Thank you very much. President Arnault, would you like to tackle this question?
Yes. We can see JCI with the COVID really eventing itself in this process of looking at new ways and means of doing things. I think we should not tend to lean on ourselves, but open up. We've got a very rich network of members. We have contacts worldwide. We are a young organization. And I believe that what is being done actually should be intensified and continued, and educate the population. It's not only on the COVID, but also on les retombées, on the impact of the COVID, especially in terms of economy, in terms of poverty, in terms of food, and all these aspects that are becoming very pressing. This is where I believe with our network of young active citizens, we can help and contribute in our modest manner.
Thank you very much, President President Roland. Are you with us? President Roland, do you would like to tackle this question? How can JCI assist in combating the COVID-19 pandemic?
So my internet is not really stable. I try to use double network, Orange, then MTN is just crazy. That's what, welcome to Africa and Middle East. So, okay. No, I think I've been saying this. It is important, and I'm happy President Ita is here. It is important to have a serious brainstorming session where we need to look, how do we reinvent ourselves? How do we really do it? And I don't think the past world president that we are will really have a solution, because it's a matter of generation. Each generation needs to identify, but what we stay, what you can't touch is the values. You know, President Arnault just told you about the creed, that every morning he look at it and it's a source of inspiration. And our values are relevant today than even yesterday. Our mission also, but what we have to change are our tools. So I would really strongly invite you to engage the whole organization, all the stakeholders in this conversation, to see how do we do things? How are we going to run our conferences? How do we run our general assemblies? How we need to question. I mean, just question and come out. It will be amazing what we have called a perspective approach in terms of management, and also a collective intelligence. And I'm sure that in this process, you guys will come out with some new tools that is going to help the new JCI. But the values, the principles are the foundation. You cannot touch. But what you have to touch now are the finishing, the feelings, and all the rest. That's what I can really say. The solution lies in your hand. But things will not be like before. I want it to be very clear to each and every one of us.
Okay, thank you very much. President Pascal.
Thank you very much. What can JCI do to help curb COVID-19? Of course, I see a lot of JCI local and national nations taking some action. And right now, there is no cure and there is no vaccine. So the best every and any organization can do is going to create awareness, okay, on what the practice is. That's what I call personal protective practices. JCI members have been creating awareness. I've seen some videos go online. I've seen some section go online and all of that. And so we need to do more and more of that. That's very important. But also, do not forget that every society stands on a tripod: the business, the government, and the civil society. And sometimes it looks like the government becomes handicapped in terms of ideas. It looks like the businesses want to focus on how to rescue their businesses. JCI as a non-for-profit will have to fill the gap to continue to engage government and businesses so they can see how they will support people who are suffering from this COVID-19. That's on one part. The other thing that I want to talk about is that as an organization, we must also, and as I see a bit of that happening, but we need to do more. Do not forget that there are JCI members who run businesses. There's what I call business protective practices. So we have personal protective practices. I've termed these business protective practices. So when we have online sections, we also find the best way to continue to encourage our members to understand that the COVID-19 will go away. Of course, there will be new normal. But the businesses, how do you continue to ensure that the economy continues to strive? How do you continue to see that your businesses do not go under and all of that? That's another area we need to focus on to see how we can get forum, bring experts within and outside JCI to continue to teach our members and share experiences how they can, weather the storm and go through this process. And if we can continue to do those two, then I'm sure by the time we have a vaccine and we have a cure, we'll still have some humans on Earth who can have those vaccines and take the medication. Because right now, the only thing that we can do is continue to create awareness on how to stay alive until a vaccine or a cure is found. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And President Itai.
Thank you very much for that question. And thank you to the presidents for the responses that are so much on point. I could almost just say, just as the past presidents have said, so shall we do their recommendations. My take on it is, number one, I just would like, as your president, to congratulate the work that the members have been doing. They have not sat on the members across the world, have not sat on their laurels and say we're in a crisis, so we'll not take action. But they realize that in the midst of crisis, that's when champions are born. And they stepped out and they're taking action and they're engaging. We're here today because we're learning from technology and making things possible. And yesterday we were in a virtual conference in Dublin, and today we're now sitting here in Africa making things happen. And therein lies the solutions that we have for us to ensure that we continue being relevant and resilient into the future. But most importantly, just as President Pascal spoke about, we need to look at our members and look to ourselves as members for solutions and say, how best can we, at an individual level, at professional level, at business level, be resilient enough to ensure that post the crisis, we stay alive? What is it that we're going to do in terms of upskilling ourselves so we can be relevant in the job market? How can we make sure that we put in place measures that ensure that post the crisis, our business enterprises can rise up again? Our business models can be relevant in the new normal. And therein lies impacting the members at an individual level, which in turn then gives them the opportunity to even then be more for the community that's around them. So I believe we've got the answers as young people. Let's stay engaged. We've got the platforms to have those conversations. And let's utilize those platforms for constructive conversations that can ensure that post this crisis, we can be victorious and we can continue to be relevant wherever we are as young active citizens. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I do now have one of the submitted questions. I would like to ask it to President Itai, and if any of the other presidents would like to weigh in on this question. So we do have a lot of amazing female leaders from Africa and the Middle East, two of which President of JCI Nigeria, President of JCI Mauritius, and presidents from all over, from JCI South Africa to JCI Morocco. And I also come from a national organization, the same amount of female national presidents as male national presidents in our history in JCI Lebanon. So the question says, all 5 presidents are male. would you say it's a man's world? And how can female leaders from our area be able to reach the position of world president of JCI?
Okay, thank you very much for that question. Number one, the world is not male. Opportunities in the organization are there for anyone to rise to the best of their ability to reach the apex of the organization. You spoke about how the hostesses of this event are female. So they're telling you that the world, anyone, as long as you're a leader, you've got the power to make things happen wherever you are, despite your gender. When I was engaging President Franchette, and she told me, oh, we're having this forum, and we're showcasing past presidents and current presidents from the continent, I said, wow, that's a good thing. And I said, have you thought about having a forum where you showcase the finest women that have risen to lead this area over time? And I can count EVPs. We've got one that's here today. We've got Aruna. We've got EVP Joko. We've got Rania. We've got so many past EVPs that have come through this organization. We've got even past vice presidents. So it shows the women in the organization to say opportunities to serve at the highest level are there. 2017 JCI president John Hetzel is from the USA. 2013 was from Italy. Opportunities to serve are there. Let not anyone shut you down because like what President Monsef spoke about, how people tried to shut him down and tried to show him why he could not be president, but he kept on asking, why not? So keep asking yourselves, why not? And I believe the best is yet to come. You can do it. Go ahead and take that mentor. And certainly, I believe more exciting things are coming off the continent and beyond, where we see women rising up to serve at JCI board and beyond. So it's up to you to make it happen.
Thank you very much, and hopefully we'll be able to see a female leader from Africa and the Middle East representing the JCI organization across the world very soon. Now, my next question I would like to address to President Pascal. How can JCI adapt to the vastly accelerating technological advances in the world?
Can you repeat the question again?
So how can JCI adapt or keep up to the vastly accelerating technological advances in the world?
Thank you very much for the question. First, I think the COVID-19 has presented a wonderful opportunity to make this happen. And so if some of us were sleeping before and were struggling and didn't think, advancing our skills and knowledge and understanding in terms of technological tools were not necessary, now we have seen the necessity of making this happen. So my response, direct response to that is that from local to national to international, this is a time for JCI to invest. I use the word invest very carefully. And the investment is not just in terms of the money that we put in, but exposing our members. There are a number of free trainings globally, online, virtually. So we must identify these opportunities, okay? And then ensure that our local secretary generals and those who work at secretariat, our national secretary generals and those who work at the national secretariat and the JCI headquarters, all have access to these tools free. And where we need to spend money, it is important. There's nothing you invest today in technology that is a waste. We need to invest in ensuring that people have what I call hands-on to be able to pioneer organization to the next level, whether we like it or not. The trajectory is going to change. The way businesses are done will change. The way non-profits run will change. And COVID-19, even to invest in technology to ensure that wherever we are, or whatever circumstance we find ourselves, that JCI can compete with any other organization around the world. So first is to identify what the gaps are and invest in this to ensure that members can continually serve, not just as officers, not just as employee, but also the non-profit and the volunteer members will be able to provide services where needed and when needed. So investment in technology is very important, but there are a lot of free tools today that I think JCI from local to national should identify and present such opportunity to our members to be able to up their skills.
Thank you very much for the answer. My next question is addressed to President Roland. So we might have some potential members who are watching us today. My question is, why would the youth invest their time in JCI when they can join other membership-based organizations? What do you think makes us different?
Okay, thanks. Thank you so much. I think the uniqueness of our organization is based on the variety of opportunities that this organization gives to young persons. Our value, I mean, the creed is just amazing. It speaks to all of us. I mean, your race, your ethnicity, your religion. I mean, you will see that you find yourself. So first, I will say the values and principles. Second is the mission of the organization. It's so relevant, offering to this target population development opportunities that will help them to be better citizens, but most importantly, to be true change agents. And last but not the least, our network. We are a global organization, but with a local color. So I think, yeah, we have 1,000 reasons, young people have 1,000 reasons to be part of JCI. When I was JCI president, I would keep insisting in two part of our mission. The first one is what we offer to the young person. So we shouldn't only tell them what they will come and benefit, which is dangerous. I mean, in terms of sales, we have not said the truth. We should be truthful when we are selling the organization. It's about offering you, but it's also about you contributing. So you have two parts. Offering you the opportunity, we give them the opportunity, so that at the end, you are true agent, you are active citizen. We have understood from the conversation since more than almost 2 hours that active citizenship is about being involved. It's about identifying a challenge and bring a solution. It's a whole lifestyle. So I think, again, young people need to be part of this organization because it will offer them empowerment opportunities that will help them to be true change agents and to be solutions providers.
Thank you very much. Now my next question is for President Arnault. What do you think the key issues that Africa and the Middle East needs to address in the coming decade? So the most important key issues that the world is facing, or Africa and the Middle East is facing, that we need to address in the coming decade? And please unmute yourself because we cannot hear you.
Sorry, I didn't catch the last part of your question.
So my question is, yeah, it's the same question. So what do you think the key issues that Africa and the Middle East needs to address in the coming decade?
Well, for me, the reason I remember joining the organization was that it was proactive. It was in advance of other similar organizations being always in that proactive mode. It was therefore in advance of its time, for example, providing training that others didn't provide, organization of the same target audience, that is the youth. And third was that it had tools that help young people to become leaders. In fact, if you see my generation of JCs, today, my friends all over the world, they have become leaders, whether in their business community, whether they are involved in politics or in other areas. So in Africa, we have a role to play for the youth, for our target audience. And we need, therefore, to be proactive, to be in advance of time, and to provide the tools. And there are problems that are going to come up very quickly, which we are seeing. And they've got a variety, whether economic, whether social, whether health. And this is where I believe JCI should step in.
Did we lose President Arnaud?
I think he's done with his answers.
Oh, okay, thank you. It might be my connection. Thank you very much, President Arnaud. And now my final question is addressed to President Munsif. President, you were the world president in 1986, and you've been in this organization since the 70s. How do you see how do you see JCI has changed throughout these 3 decades since you were world president?
Well, the change is there. This is a part of the natural law of the evolution and the life for a person or an organization. So any organization that does not change, this is like a dead organization. So change has been realized. The only concern I have is just the membership number of the international JCI community, which has been declining since then. I remember when I was a member of the International Board of Directors and the Executive Committee, and then President of JCI, our objective was to reach 500,000 members in the world. And in my term, during my term, we reached 480,000 members all over the world. Later on, I was watching a little bit, with the concern why the membership is declining. And this is a big concern. Your weight, your existence, your force resides in your volume, your weight, and your membership. And this is another concern that I have, why people are not joining our organization, the young people mainly, and why members of our organization, they are leaving. So this is my only concern. If I compare my time to what is happening later until now, this is my major concern, as I said. And I think the leadership of JCI on the local, national, and international level, they are aware of this, and they do the best of their efforts to overcome this difficulty. I wish them all the best, and really, as we say in French, bon courage. Merci.
Thank you very much, President Munsif, and hopefully we will be able to rebound back to 500,000 members in the coming decade with recruitment and membership strategies that will fit with the changing world and the changing mentalities of today's youth. Now I would like to move to the closing remarks of President Itai, as we are nearing the end of the session and we don't want to go over time. So, President, I would like you to please address on how we can bridge the gap between active citizenship as a lifestyle, between the traditional way of thinking and the modern way of thinking of being an active citizen, something that is relevant to today's youth.
Thank you very much, VP Moore. Before I give my closing remarks, just to thank the panelists here today, the past presidents, and the nuggets of wisdom that you've given us. And to congratulate the hostesses of this the organizers of this event, JCI Nigeria and JCI Mauritius. In line with your question, when we look at those two things that we've been able to accomplish today, number one, bridging the gap between Mauritius and Nigeria, in as much as we've got oceans in between. When we look at how you've been able to get past presidents, past knowledge, but with knowledge that is relevant today and beyond, and putting them at the same table and interfacing with them, that is bridging the gap. That is bridging the knowledge gap that has been created over time. I often ask myself, besides coming to conferences and Congress as past presidents and perhaps get a chance to sit in nominations committee and probably not get a chance to sit there, how best can we be utilized? How best can past presidents be utilized? And you are showing us the way that indeed they can be engaged now because of the crisis. I just hope that in the future, this trend will continue. But I also call upon all of you members to say, look around yourselves in your local organizations. Look at that board member, look at that past local president, look at that national officer, and ask yourself, what inspiration can you draw from them? What knowledge can you draw from them? That is bridging the gap. We look at how this year we've been forced to connect digitally because of the crisis, and we've been able to see what is possible. My call to all of you is to say, let us take all the rich pickings of this experience and say, how best can we redefine the way that we do things as an organization moving forward? And I believe that when we implement some of those things, there are things that are already in your DNA and are already in the way that you're doing your things. Online training sessions, online webinars, online GAs. You don't necessarily need to travel across the world. Last night I was in Dublin. This morning I'm in Africa. In the next few moments, I'm in Dutch Caribbean. And later on this evening, I'll find myself in South America. That is the beauty of technology without moving an inch. And that is exactly how we can, as an organization, move and be relevant into the future. And as young people, we're looking for ways to say, how do you continuously engage? Today, we're live on Facebook. Therein lies an opportunity to open up our meetings and our events and our activities to the rest of the world. You have shown the way. And let us not necessarily cut the way that we're doing things right now, post this crisis, but let us see how best we can make it better moving forward. I wish you all the best. Keep on taking action in your communities. Keep on being those of good courage, because I believe 2020 is the year that we've been waiting for. The year that we find ourselves finally becoming that international organization that we've always touted ourselves to be. Because we have really gone international, because we've bridged the gap, the geographical gap, the connectivity gap, the knowledge gap. And now let us continue to share those best practices as you move on into the future. And I believe that we are spurred for greater days to come as an organization and as a movement. So yes, last year I said we shall be bridging the gap. And I'm glad that the opportune time came in this crisis for us to continue to bridge the gap. So in 2020 and beyond, let us continue to be relevant and be that organization of choice where young people will come to ensure that they develop and impact their communities wherever they are. I thank you very much, African Middle East, for making this possible. And I wish you a fantastic day. Please stay safe. And I look forward to seeing you very soon somewhere around the world. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, President Itai, and I look forward to see you very soon around the world. Thank you very much for always inspiring our members and trying, despite the pandemic and the special circumstances that we have, to ensure that JCI is still operating and still running, and our members are still motivated. So for that, I thank you. Now I would like to move to the closing remarks of JCI Nigeria President Oni.
All right, thank you so much, VP Mohammed, for a wonderful moderated session. Thank you so much, our wonderful panelists and our very big brothers from whom we draw inspiration, past President Monsef, past President Arnold, past President Roland, past President Pascal, and our Bridge the Gap President, Itai. Thank you so much for the wonderful session. And thank you so much, everyone who has been part of this. And importantly, thank you so much, President Franchet, for the collaboration that we've been enjoying. And we've had so much fun here. There's been so much to learn. So thank you so much. And I ask that we look forward to the next series that we'll be organizing, JCI Nigeria and JCI Mauritius, featuring the, well, let me not tell you what to expect, but you should know that you'll be expecting so much. So thank you so much.
Thank you very much, President. And now I leave the word to JCI Mauritius President Franchet.
Thank you very much, VP Mo. Yes, Oni, you scared me. I thought you were just giving out the secret. Just give them waiting for some moment. So I take the risk of repeating my dear friend Oni. So I would like to thank you everyone for being here. Thank you, presidents, for accepting, because one thing that is fabulous that I really appreciated is that the moment I just sent each one of you the question, there was no hesitation. I just got a prompt reply like, yes, yes. And even President Monsef, but I had never met before. I'm sure he had never heard of me before, but as I sent him the message, he immediately replied positively, which is very much appreciated. So thank you very much, presidents, for being here. You can see how I'm even more excited than before the session, because I'm fired up now to take even more action than before this session. And I'm sure all the members that have been following us on Facebook are also more energized now to go back to their community and to implement what they have learned from here, because the aim is not just to learn, to hear from our presidents, but also to go back to our community and implement and also continue to impact other members. So thank you very much for these words of wisdom, and everything you have been saying here is like more motivation, more inspiration for me, and I'm sure for others also, to do even more than what we were doing. So thank you very much. I would like to thank also EVP Asha for being with us today. Thank you, EVP Asha, for all the support you are giving to all the national organizations from the region. Thank you to our dear members that have taken the courage to come with us today and introduce our presidents. Thank you so much. You have been awesome. And I would like to thank also VP Mo for having accepted to be the moderator. And to end, I would like to thank the Nigeria team, which is a very, very crazy but very efficient team. Thank you so much, team. And thank you everyone for having followed us, be it on Zoom or on social media. Thank you so much, people. Stay safe and see you for the next series.
Thank you very much, President Franchet. And in my turn, I would also like to thank very much all the presidents who were with us. President Monsef, for me, you have never met me and I've never met you, but I can feel that we learned a lot from your experience today, and I really hope to see you very soon around the world if you can, and if you are able to join us at our next upcoming World Congress or any event that will be happening depending on the pandemic. So I would really like to see you and meet you physically, hopefully, and I'm sure all of our members from Africa and the Middle East would also like to meet their first president from Africa. President Arnaud, I met you this last year in Mauritius, and you helped us a lot during the candidates training. So your advice were very valuable, and I really appreciate you being here with us. And I'm sure as well that members from all over the world and members from JCI Mauritius look up to you as an inspiration to one day also become world president. President Rolam, I have also not met you, but your experience and your inspirational words that you gave us today are also very well received and very encouraging for members from Africa and the Middle East and all over the world. So I thank you very much, and I hope to see you as well very soon in the next JCI event. President Pascal, you have been you have been one of my mentors over the past year as we train to become JCI board members, and I met you in 2016 when you came to Lebanon as an official visit, and you were you told your inspirational stories to our members in Beirut, and I still can remember the energy that you gave everyone in Beirut to become leaders like yourself. So thank you very much for everything that you've done for the organization, and I hope to see you very soon, hopefully around the world. And last but not least, I would thank once again President Itai for being here with us today. I know you have a very busy schedule with the European conference and all the things that are happening all over the world. So it was our pleasure to have you among all the presidents from Africa and the Middle East, and we are definitely proud of you and proud of what you are doing. It is unfortunate that your year has been plagued with the coronavirus, but for me, I feel that we have done so much more than what we could have done physically, being at so many places at once on the same day. So thank you once again for the 5 presidents for being here, and a very, very, very big thank you to JCI Nigeria and JCI Mauritius. This panel required, I'm sure, a lot of effort and a lot of meetings to set up and a lot of meetings to coordinate. So your efforts are very, very highly appreciated. And finally, thanks to all the members who were present with us today to introduce the presidents, and for everyone who attended, for everyone who supported EVP Asha, Director Tunji, SG Kevin, and everyone who has been with us today. Thank you very much for being here, and have a good day and the rest of the weekend.
All right, thank you, everyone.